We have already learnt that all living things are made up of cells. Cell is the basic unit of structure and function of any organism. Plants, animals, even our bodies are made up of large number of cells. So, let us learn something about cells. About 350 years ago, in the year 1665, Robert Hooke, an English scientist, observed a thin section of cork under a microscope. He found that the structure of the section was like a honeycomb, made up of many small compartments. He named these compartments as cells. The study of cells is called cytology. A compound microscope is used for the study of cells. However, there are cells that cannot be seen through a compound microscope. So, an electron microscope is used to see such cells. An electron microscope can magnify infinitesimally small objects. It magnifies objects 2 billion times, that is, 2 into 10 raised to 9. As said earlier, living things are made up of innumerable cells. Each cell has a definite structure. The life processes of living things such as nutrition, respiration, reproduction, excretion, etc. are carried out through these cells. The various constituents of cell carry out these processes. They are called organelles. The various constituents like cell membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, lysosomes, plastids, nucleus and vacuoles are called the organelles of a cell. Let us study about various organelles and their functions. 1. The cell membrane. It is the outer covering of a cell. It is like a very thin, flexible layer. Functions. It protects the inner parts of the cell. It regulates the flow of substances that enter or pass out of the cell. It maintains the shape of the cell. 2. The cell wall. It is a covering found only in plant cell outside the cell membrane. It is made up of a substance called cellulose. Other substances can pass through it. Functions. It gives the cell strength. Hence, the cell gets a definite shape. Also, the inner components of the cell are protected. 3. Nucleus. It is the central and the largest component of the cells, usually round in shape. The membrane around the nucleus is porous. Chromosomes made from DNA are inside the nucleus. A DNA thread of a certain length is called a gene. Functions. It controls all the functions of the cell. It takes part in cell division. Inherited characteristics are passed to the next generations according to the genes on the chromosomes in the nucleus. 4. Cytoplasm. It is the substance that fills a cell apart from the nucleus. It is a semi-fluid substance with water-soluble organic and inorganic substances and the various organelles in it. Functions. It provides site for various metabolic activities, that is, the chemical processes that occur within a living organism leading to energy production. 5. Mitochondria. They are of various shapes, but mainly tubular. A mitochondrion has a double wall. The inner wall has folds. Functions. They produce energy from the food materials in the cell and supply energy to the cell when required. They are called powerhouses of the cell. 6. Golgi bodies. They are stacks of flat, membrane-bound sacs in the cytoplasm. Functions. They store enzymes. Their main function is secretion that is, to carry enzymes to different destinations. Example, digestive enzymes of pancreatic juice. 7. Vacuole. A vacuole means an empty space. It is an organelle with a covering of a single membrane. Plant cells have much larger and many more vacuoles than the animal cells. Functions. They store products of excretion and secretions temporarily. Now, let us start with the new topic, microorganisms. We all know the fact that the air, water and soil around us contain countless microorganisms. Some of them are useful, while some are harmful. Let us begin with virus. It became possible to study viruses only because of the help of electron microscope. A virus has a simple structure without cytoplasm or organelles. It has a covering of proteins. It contains deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, or ribonucleic acid, that is RNA. They cause various diseases in plants and animals. Now, coming to the next microorganism called bacteria. They are larger than viruses but cannot be seen without microscope. It contains free chromosomes instead of the nucleus. They also have the organelles, a cell wall, cell membrane and cytoplasm. Some bacteria are beneficial, that is, useful, while some are harmful or disease-producing bacteria. Just like oxygen, nitrogen too is a constituent of air. The conversion of this atmospheric nitrogen into compounds like ammonia and nitrates, which can be used by living things, is called nitrogen fixation. The rhizobium bacteria found in the nodules on the roots of leguminous plants are useful as nitrogen-fixing agents. They transform nitrogen in the air to nitrogen compounds. These nitrogen compounds enter the soil and make the soil fertile. Azotobacter is a kind of bacteria in the soil responsible for nitrogen fixation independently. Several bacteria present in the soil decompose dead plants, animals, and produce humus, thereby increasing the fertility of the soil. Now, let us study some of the harmful bacteria. The Staphylococcus bacteria produce a poisonous substance called enterotoxin as it grows on foodstuffs. Eating such foodstuff can cause diarrhea and vomiting. However, the illness can be cured easily by timely treatment. Bacteria called Clostridium are likely to grow in canned foodstuffs after their date of expiry. They produce toxic substances as they grow in foodstuffs. Eating these foodstuffs causes diarrhea and vomiting. And that is the reason why a can of foodstuffs always carries an expiry date, which tells us how long it is safe to consume the contents of the can. So whenever we go to buy canned food, check out for its expiry date. Next is algae. They are found in wet, damp places. The cells of these plants, which grow in water, contain chlorophyll. They are autotrophic. Mostly algae are useful. Some kinds of algae serve as food. If they grow in overhead tanks of water where they get sunlight, the water gets a bad smell. Diatoms are a kind of unicellular algae. Now coming to the next microorganism, fungus. Some fungi are useful, while some are harmful. The harmful fungi cause diseases of the skin or damage to substances. These plant cells do not contain chlorophyll, so they are parasites. They grow in damp places on organic substances. In 1929, the scientist Alexander Fleming discovered that a substance produced during the growth of the Penicillium bacteria could kill certain microorganisms. The well-known antibiotic penicillin is made from the Penicillium bacteria. Only certain bacteria are able to produce certain antibiotics. An antibiotic can kill only specific microorganisms. The following table can help you understand this in a better way. Microorganism Penicillium chrysogenum produces the antibiotic penicillin and destroys the germs diphtheria and pneumonia. Microorganism Streptomyces venezuelae produces the antibiotic chloromycetin and destroys the germ typhoid. Microorganism Streptomyces griseus produces the antibiotic streptomycin and destroys the germ tuberculosis. Microorganism Streptomyces aureofaciens produces the antibiotic tetracycline and destroys various germs. Microorganisms Streptomyces erythraeus produces the antibiotic erythromycin and destroys various germs. Thus, from the table it is clear that an antibiotic can kill only specific microorganisms, and also only certain bacteria are capable of producing antibiotics. Now, we shall study about yeast cells. They belong to the class of fungi. Yeast cells cause fermentation. Fermentation caused by some microorganisms results in the formation of organic substances with excellent taste and flavor. Bread, idlis, dosas are prepared by the process of fermentation. Fermentation caused by some microorganisms results in the formation of substances with unpalatable smell and tastes. Hence, they are not suitable as foods. Coming to the last microorganism called protozoa. This is a class of unicellular animals. Their cells do not contain chlorophyll. They have a cell membrane and a nucleus. They grow by obtaining ready food materials. Some protozoa are harmful. Example, when protozoa like the amoeba enter our stomach through contaminated food or water, they cause various illnesses like vomiting, diarrhea, etc., which may become chronic if not treated in time.